And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to FPL, don't panic. Don't shoot me. We'd have a long way to travel to shoot me. I've hit the wildcard button. I'm going to have to justify this one, haven't I? Number of reasons. Yesterday, as I say, I took the -8 a few days ago. And I was happy enough to take it. I didn't feel -8 was enough to justify hitting a wildcard button, but I was happy enough with the team. A number of reasons. No one reason made me hit it. It was just a multitude of just little things. And as they all added up, I thought, you know what, maybe now is the time to do it. So I'll run through them, not necessarily in order of appearance, but in order as they pop into my head as I'm just having a little waffle. Number one, this game's a psychological game, isn't it? You know, gets in your head. And after a pretty rough few weeks and various injuries and plans getting blown apart by the injury to Bruno was the big one. And then I got myself stuck, and there's the injury to Rice. There's a whole bunch of other things. You've seen the journey. It's been an absolute pain in the arse. This game's psychological. So after all of that, seeing my rank, fall progressively as I was sort of struggling to put out fires and not getting to where I wanted to get to, fairly significant fall down the ranks, down to 1.2 million as it is at the moment, effectively. As it pisses you off. We play this game for fun. I don't want to be pissed off all the time. And somewhere from the jaws of defeat, and pulled a green out of the bag this game week. So that was good. It stopped the rot. I know I've only taken a -8 this week, but it would be nice to see some greens, hit a few greens in a row and start clawing this back. It's all psychological. It's very psychological. You just got to get that positive energy going. Like I caught a wet sail at the back end of last season when all hope looked lost, and just positive vibes. And ended up, as I say, really with the proverbial wet sail last year. Now I want to try and catch that wet sail earlier this year. How would I feel after having a little solid green this week, stopping the rot, if because of that -8 I had like 100 or a 200k drop this week? Well, I would feel fucking pretty grumpy, to be honest with you. Even though there's that team, as I had it, massive potential to haul. So I want to see another bit of green this week, and I want to see some significant green this week. That's the psychological bit. The other bit is, as I spoke a little bit about yesterday, getting ahead of that curve. So it's still pretty early here in New Zealand. I got up this morning. I'm an early riser, except when I've been up all night watching football, and made me coffee, and caught up with the overnight presses as they were in the UK. I thought, oh bugger, Saka doesn't look like he's going to be good. We're going to have to be calling on the bench. And I have no problem with Mukiele was my absolute hero, but it's not ideal, especially as I have a thin bench, very thin bench. So if there was anything else happened, highly probable I'm going to be down to 10 players. If there's any, if there was another surprise rotation, maybe Foden gets a rest. We don't know. So that's what's about number 3 reason. So what's the press? I thought, do I? And then I can make some of the other little minor tweaks that weren't as important as the couple of transfers that I made, but maybe I can start to make some of the other little minor tweaks. That was number 3. Number 4, I started watching a few of the other content providers, what they were getting at, and I tell you what, the 4-5-1 is going to be in vogue in about 2, 3, 4 game weeks time. It looks like everyone's. I saw one draft. I think it was Andy. Defense and goalkeeper exactly the same as mine. Midfield, 3 out of my 5. Don't feel it's as strong as mine, because I had one of my strategies early in the season is to try up a decent bank balance. So I've got a little bit more budget, maybe more than some. to stretch a little bit further. And up front, so yeah, it was a 4-5-1. I think it was only three differences, three differences in the team, and I don't feel that the three differences were as strong as me, particularly when I've got Rice in place. Excuse me, sniffly. So it's number 4. I thought, oh, okay, this is. I need to get myself well ahead of the curve here. Number 5. Started having a little play. I started having a look, well, where would I go? It's not that many changes I really want to make where I think it makes the team better, apart from the fact that I've lost Rice. I still need to get to Bruno. That's already going to become tricky, even going from Cunha to Bruno, because of price changes and all sorts of things. Cunha could potentially drop, for instance. I thought, well, that's going to start to become more difficult. I'm going to have to bring Chow down to an order ET, and then I still might not have enough. I might end up needing 3 transfers. I thought, oh, okay, that's starting to get a little bit out of stretch. Okay, well, where could I go? A couple of potential future issues. Then I started having another little look. Now, where would I go if I was to wildcard? Who would I want to bring in for Rice? And can I get back to Rice? And then I spotted a little Bruno G there. Spotted a little Bruno G. Those Newcastle fixtures. I thought, Bruno G's a bit inconsistent. Good, whole potential's there. Then I just had a look through his numbers. A little pattern emerged. That boy's a flat track bully. He loves a green fixture. And look at those next 3 fixtures. He loves a home fixture. And he loves a game against the likes of your Burnleys and stuff like that. And that's where, not all, he did actually get a nice haul against Manchester City at home, but that's when City were shit, to be fair, when City were all over the place. He loves a home fixture, and he loves a game against those weaker defences at St James's in particular. I thought, in those 3 fixtures there is going to be at least one good 10-point haul, maybe a couple. That's not bad coming in for Rice, and Rice has got, if he's missing this one, then he's got Liverpool in the next one, then I can bring him in, they give me that potential to roll. So the big one though was when I just started just doing a little update. I hadn't done my averages, so you see they're just right at the bottom of the screen there, the averages. So this one was the kicker. I thought, okay, I'll just actually start to put some of these numbers together. How far am I off track? What are my targets? Where do I want to get to? So I've just gone through the little chart at the bottom of the screen there below me. My rank currently 1,113,404. Game week points this week 42 points. My overall points 1,088. So that's my average is now 57.26. So way off. I've been targeting 70. 70 usually gets you a 70 will always get you a really good top 10k finish, maybe even top 5k, but certainly top 10k. So, and the pattern over the last 4, 5, 6, 7 years. So that's a long way off where I would like to be. Last year I finished on an average of 66 points. That got me a 50k finish. However, it's not as bad as it looks, because everyone else is doing shit as well. The averages are so low compared to what they'd normally be. Now, those that have been following me regularly know I do this every few weeks, look at the averages. So number 1 there, that's just at the end. The number 1 at the moment on 1,323 points is just a 69.63 average. So those that watch me regularly when I do these updates, that was actually just 2 weeks ago. That was up on 73, 74 points. At this stage of the season, it's normally about 78, 79 points. The winner will finish, most seasons, the winner at the end of the season will be on about 74, 75 point average. At the moment, the number 1 is just averaging 69.63. It has been dropping like a stone. 50k. 1,177 at 61.96 average. I did that. I had to do 60. It was actually over 66, 66.67, I think it was, for me to be top 50k last year. 100k, just 61.21 average on 1,163 points, and 500k, 1,119, 58.89. These averages are extraordinarily low this year. I find that it's amazing, especially as we've had double. It's been a double chip year. We've all had the extra triple captain, the bench boost, etc., etc. So it just shows you how what a weird back in the season this is. So to me, I think this represents, if this pattern continues, it represents opportunity, that this is all very clawable back, and that maybe even the 10k finish, which is where I would have loved to have made it to this year, is still not out of reach. But the surgery has to take place now. As I say, you know, I'm on 1,088 points, and 500k, just 1,119. That's got to be the first target, you know. It's only 20, 30, 32, 33 points. You could do that in one game week. Certainly do it in a couple of game weeks. But certainly by 25 is to get myself back to that top 500k. Now, a couple of hits is not that much. It's 8 points, but it does start to creep further and further away. Last year, as I've mentioned before, I played through the second half of the season with no chips at all. Did very, very well. I want to do that again. It's quite stressful. It's quite stressful hitting those double game weeks without a free hit, etc. But we do have the advantage these days where we do have those 5 free transfers. So, you know, if I get this wildcard together, it gives you that opportunity to roll, then do again another little reset, adjustments, etc. So I'm not very good at rolling, as most of you know. And now that I've gone this path, I definitely do need to roll a few, certainly so I can bring Bruno back and bring Rice back by about 23, I guess. But that's just sort of give a little picture. So I've hit the wild card. I'm hoping it doesn't end up in a waste of a wild card, because for just 2 definite transfers I wanted to make, but 3 I guess with Rice out for 1, and then the next fixture is Liverpool, which may not be that bad. Liverpool are not great. We know that. But as I look at the changes I've made, so we'll run through the changes. I'll try and justify myself a little bit here. Now, I haven't actually fully updated that spreadsheet when I just think about it. There's a few mistakes in there, sorry guys. It's when you sort of put these things together. Just making a couple of tweaks here. 62, yeah, it doesn't change the averages that much. I'll talk to it there where I've got a mistake I've just spotted in the spreadsheet. I'm just changing it on my own live version. Verbruggen's still there. Yeah, we'll still stick with the 4.4 Verbruggen. You know, there's decent fixtures there. Obviously, Burnley at home. Don't need to talk to that. Love my defence at the moment. Tarkowski, Gvardiol, Gabriel, and Chow. No, Chow's averages there are pretty low, but I just think that going forward, I just think is an absolute top defence, and I'm actually quite happy in a few game weeks' time to move Chow down to, as it would be, I'll get to it in a second, Mukiele or something like that, to free up the money that will allow me to get to Bruno through Cunha. Cunha, I mean, I have thought about do I transfer him out in this wild card, but I'm not sure who I would actually want to bring in for him. I think the fixtures are good. We know what Cunha's capable of. Those are 2 good foot fixtures. United are better away from home than they are at home. Leeds and Burnley, and as I said, in 22. I'll hopefully have rolled a couple, and Cunha just for a couple of games can become that floater for City and Arsenal. And then when we hit Fulham, Bruno in, and yeah, Bruno in. Yeah, definitely Bruno in. But by then, I'm pretty sure he'll be ready. I won't bring him. I don't think I'll bring him back in for City and Arsenal. I think I will use that Cunha spot in those fixtures, as I say, just as that little floater. Foden, again, I thought, do I move Foden out? And I thought, no, I bloody don't, because he is another flat track bully. A lot of his hauls, big hauls, come in those, you know, in those easier type home fixtures, etc. And he loves his Wolves and his Burnleys and his teams like that. That's where he can get his returns. And he has not been returning, but he's still been getting chances. Happy to hold on to Foden. Happy to hold on to Foden, totally happy. And similarly, Saka going nowhere, just Mr. Consistency, and just maybe somewhere in some of these nice fixtures, maybe he will actually get that goal and assist and the bonus. So we do actually see some plus 10s out of him, because he can do them. I know I talk about him being that sort of regular 6-7 point hit, just ticks along, and I like it. But I do think there may well be some plus 10s further down the track. So the additional, I guess, major transfer, the Bruno G, as I spoke about. Now I can move Bruno G back to Declan Rice, by let's have these three fixtures: Crystal Palace home, Leeds at home, Wolves away. Bang, bring Rice back for 23. I suspect Bruno G will have risen a bit in price, and I think Rice will have dropped a bit in price. So hopefully we'll just catch a little bit there, which, because trust me, every 0.1 of a million is going to really help. But I'm actually relatively excited by that move. When I sort of looked at it, and I just I don't like the inconsistency of Bruno G, but once I saw that, just that little pattern there, and I thought, you know what, he will get at least 1 plus 10 across those three, and maybe he'll just pick up a little assist or something else along the way. But you never know with this guy. He does love a soft fixture, and Newcastle, particularly with those two home fixtures, one after the other, and then followed by Wolves. Yeah, got to have a bit of that. I like that. But Haaland, I guess this is a the thing with Haaland. But similarly, Haaland is a flat track bully, and he's been struggling a bit against the better defences that have got really organised and doubled up on him and have a good, well organised low block. But Chelsea, that defence is soft. Brighton, yeah. Brighton will definitely be able to go out. Man United, oh my God, he could make hay against us. He really could. Wolves at home. It probably will still be the perma captain on Haaland. And just and if other people do panic and move off and go in other places, that's when you can really catch the advantage of the Haaland hauls. A couple of little changes on the bench. I've brought John in. As I say, I know I had my Dubravka. But at the moment we have a 4 million keeper. So this is the other thing I've been able to take advantage of. These are not essential transfers, but I don't mind them. So I might as well try and extract every little bit I can out of if I am wildcarding, and not making massive extensive changes in my team. Because really on this, to get rid of the -8, the Bruno G, there's only the -12 technically. So then it's just like some little tweaks that will help me further along the line. Bringing in John. So yeah, who would you prefer? A 4 million keeper, playing keeper from Nottingham Forest, or a 4 million playing keeper from Burnley? Don't think we need answers on a postcard for that one, do we? And what it also does, again, it's minor stuff, but instead of having to make a choice between Verbruggen with 21 with City away, and Dubravka, who I can't remember who it was, might have been Arsenal. Not sure. It was a filthy fixture. Well, suddenly I've got West Ham away with a Forest defence that is improving, and will certainly concede less goals, I think, than Verbruggen will against City away, and Dubravka would. I can't remember who it was now, but it was a very tough fixture. So suddenly I got West Ham, and then there's some nice little benching decisions, I guess, to make through from 20 through to 25, particularly say in like 25, we've got Crystal Palace home, or I've got John Wolves home, but that's a no-brainer, isn't it? Yeah, so again, just minor strengthening, but every little helps. And then I have moved out my hero Mukiele for Alderete, only because it's given me Alderete's going up in price, so is Mukiele. So let's put 0.1 million back in the bank, and I suspect Alderete will in the next couple of game weeks catch up with Mukiele, so there'll be a little bit more cash for me to play with, because as I said, every 0.1, 0.2 million is going to really help me, particularly when I get to that 22, 23, when I bring Rice back. Hopefully he's dropped a little bit, and then when I do want to bring Bruno back for 444, Fulham home, Tottenham home. Hope that all made sense. So it's not like normally when you do a wildcard, you make a lot more changes than that. A lot more changes. You know, you're usually changing out half your team and all sorts of things. So there's only sort of, I guess, 3 key transfers there. But those little tweaks, I think, could be actually quite critical as I get further along. And I think on this team, it does give me the ability to roll. I don't think the 20 fixtures, the game week 20 fixtures are absolutely ideal. I could still put Alderete in there, I think maybe for Palmer. And I guess, as I say, that's the one, you know, should I move out Palmer? I think no, everyone's going to be, everyone now is taught, how do we get Palmer in now from 21, 22 as Chelsea go into this major fixture run. No, I'm sticking with Palmer, I think. I might have a little look. Is there something temporary I could do for 20? That's not going to affect me too much, and then I can then bring Palmer back. But I'm booking a transfer, and where I would really like to be with this, barring any further injuries, etc., is I really would like to try and roll through 20, after 20 and 21, and then it's 22 where I can do my little Cunha moves, so target Wolves, target Burnley, whoever's playing them, and then 24, bang, turn them into Bruno. It's so dangerous to make future booking plans, it really is, but I have to have some sort of a little structure that I'm working to. It's the way my brain works. So that's it. I have done it. How do I feel about it? Little mixed. It's, you don't like using the wild card unnecessarily, but I think I'll be a lot happier, I think, with the end result come the end of game week 20 if I'm sitting on a juicy green arrow, or at the worst, you know, have played through 20. It's gone okay, hopefully a little bit of green there, but haven't seen myself, you know, take a further plummet, you know, down 1,000, 1,200,000, 300, 400, whatever, because of the -8. Quite excited by the Bruno G move, I have to say, looking at those fixtures, even if he's only going to be in for those 3 game weeks before moving back to Rice. Don't mind it. Now I've got a couple, I've just noted, as I say, a couple of little mistakes in the spreadsheet, but overall, particularly with the Bruno G, I've got his numbers wrong in the spreadsheet there. He's actually on an average of 5, so that's different to what you see in there. It's on an average of 5 for the last 5 game weeks. And as I say, with the haul in 15 and the haul in 19 in nice soft fixtures. So I would anticipate seeing that average go up. So currently it hasn't actually changed the overall average too much, without captaincy average, which is still sitting at about 63 points. So that's grand, fine, lovely. So currently the prediction would be for this game week, you know, 63 without captaincy. Bring me in a Hall Haaland. Let's get those 70s going, and let's see if we can get me back in the top 500k within the next 2 or 3 game weeks, and then we can see where we go from there. Fingers crossed. It's a game of luck, folks. It really is. Yeah, and all we're trying to do half the time in this game is try and create the circumstances where we can be lucky. That is what we're doing. It is such a game of luck, I would say. But it is funny, the more focused I get, the luckier I seem to get. It is a game of chance though, guys. It's a game of chance. We just try and make the right decisions and hope they come off. Listen, I won't be back before the deadline. I think this is it. Can't see myself making any what I'd call significant changes. Deadline, I'll obviously keep an eye on the deadline stream just in case there's any crazy last minute things like last week with the Rice injury. But I'm going with this. I'm going with this now. I like it. There is whole potential in every single position in that team. and I include the goalkeeper in that because I have had the 11s out of him a couple of times this season, actually, out of Bruggen across the whole season. So leave it at that. I hope you're all set up as well. I don't know if there was anything useful there for you in that content, but hopefully, if anything, it just gives you an idea. You know that this season is it's unusual. It's really unusual. And if we just want to get ourselves for the second half of the season really nice and focused and try and make good decisions, we can come in with a wet sail. Onwards and upwards. Take care. Have fun. Play your own game. Don't panic. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye bye.